Hi, I'm Emily May, founder and director of Orphanage Dance Project. Thank you for your interest in this project. I would like to talk about it with you. There's a lot that I could say, but I'll share some highlights. First, I'd like to share how I became connected with the orphanage. This happened back in 2001. My family was in the process of adopting my brother Julio, who was at the orphanage. My father, who is a filmmaker, had been filming a documentary at the orphanage, and that's where he met Julio. Eventually, my family ended up living in Mexico at the orphanage during the adoption process for 7 months. And I'm happy to say that we did receive the adoption and that Julio has been with us now for over 13 years. Moving to Mexico and living in the orphanage was an experience that would change the rest of my life. At the time, I was 18 and had recently graduated high school and started college. Through this change of events, I dropped out of college and moved down to Mexico with my parents to help with the adoption. The opportunity to live in the orphanage was incredible. We had no idea. This was our first time really in the country. My dad had been there a few other times. So the first time there, first time doing an adoption, an international adoption. And so to be at the orphanage and to have their support, to have their help, to have their guidance was incredible. Not only that, but they also extended their friendship. The orphanage was established by a Catholic nun, Madre Olga, who passed away a few years ago. Currently, the Mother Superior at the orphanage is Madre Inés. While we lived there, I worked closely with two of the madres, Madre Inés, the now Mother Superior, and Madre Diana. Growing up, I had studied in a Spanish immersion program, and so having the grasp of the language was really wonderful and helpful as part of this process. But also, I had learned in school, I had learned some dances from Mexico and other areas, and so it was really exciting for me to be in a country that I had studied about. But beyond that, one of the most profound experiences that I had was becoming such good friends with Madre Diana and Madre Olga. Going into the adoption, moving down to Mexico, when I was first there, what I saw was these two women who were very different than me. We came from different countries, we spoke, different languages, we ate different food, basically just the daily routines of life were very, very different. We were in different ages, different priorities in life, different family and religious backgrounds, and right from the beginning, we cultivated an incredible friendship. And so for me, as an 18-year-old, I celebrated my 19th birthday down there. This really opened my perspective that I could have strong friendships and wonderful interactions and positive relationships with people that I may not know a lot or anything about their own views, their own life practices. And that was very exciting to be able to share with each other what mattered, and to hear from them and learn from them. But I also found it really profound that even though I didn't share a lot of the similarities, even though we didn't have a lot of similarities, if you will, that they served me. I mean, every day they were helping us. Every day, even just, I can't imagine how difficult it would have been for us to get used to knowing how to go to the market, get food, come home, cook it. It sounds maybe silly, but when you're in a place that isn't familiar, simple things like that can seem overwhelming. And I mean, to be going through this very intense experience of adopting my brother already was so strenuous on my family. Most of the time, either my dad would be back in the US and my mom would be in Mexico, or vice versa, as we progressed through these 7 months and all the different things that we had to do for the adoption. And so what I really felt there was this incredible love that changed me. I not only felt that from the nuns, from Madre Inés, Madre Diana, Madre Olga, and others, but from the children. I got to interact with all of the children, but my main interactions were with the teenage young women, the teenage girls. I lived with them, and they immediately extended their friendship to me. And sometimes that's not the experience with, I had just graduated high school. Sometimes that's not the experience with a group of young girls, especially when you're not as familiar with each other. And that surprised me right from the start, that I walked through those doors and that they knew I would be living there with them. They welcomed me. And that was really amazing. And I hope that they each have that experience as they come to the orphanage. But I appreciated getting to know each of them. And I appreciated singing songs with them, and that they would take time to share with me music that they really liked, and that we would have lots of opportunity to spontaneously just start a dance party, and that they would joke with me and also take the time to get to know me as well. So this really profound experience happened when I was 18, 19, and then Julio was adopted and we came back, and I started studying again and continued with the other goals that I had, but now very changed in my perspectives and also in love. And the best way that I could describe it at the time, that I continue to describe it, is that I had found a home. I had found another place that I called home, a place that I felt that I belonged, a place that I felt love, a place that, even if there were days that we were moody or up and down, there was still a sense of security. And I think that's really interesting that I had that experience at an orphanage where my previous perspective would have made me think otherwise. So that's how it started. That's how it started. And so I've always felt connected. I've always felt a lot of love for that place. And eventually, through a lot of different experiences, through a lot of different reflecting on my own life, I realized I had a very strong desire to be able to share something that is meaningful to me with the orphanage. I wanted to be able to give to my family. I wanted to be able to contribute to the lives of the people in this place that I love so much. And it was easy to know how, and that is through dance. I've always loved to dance. I've always been passionate about dance. Dance has transformed my life. Dance has given me opportunities to express myself in ways that are unique to movement, that are unique to dance. Dance has allowed me to connect with people, with ideas, with experiences. And so that's what I wanted to look into, is how could this passion that I have for dance and what I had seen it cultivate in my own life, is that something that I could share with the orphanage, that I could cultivate an experience with the children as well. And so as I went into grad school, that was one of my main focuses. Was I wanted to learn, I wanted to gain an understanding, I wanted to be able to have knowledge that would help me to create a movement experience, a dance experience, a creative experience that had depth and meaning in nurturing and facilitating personal expression, community, creating a community, feeling a genuine sense of belonging and bond with those that are around you. All these things that I had experienced through dance, and I was very interested in how to cultivate that. I studied how people use dance. I thought a lot about how dance has helped construct how it's contributed in the construction of my identity. How I know myself because of dance. And I also looked at community arts programs, projects, practices to learn what was out there. And it's very exciting. It's very exciting. And so this became my thesis research, my project for my master's degree while studying at Arizona State University. And there was incredible mentorship there and support and enthusiasm, which I'm extremely grateful for, because I had this dream, if you will, and that support helped me to have the courage to move forward and feel confident in doing that. And so moving forward with the project, I reached out. I reached out to some other dancers in the program at ASU, because I quickly realized that although I had this dream and I would go there if it was just myself, the project would benefit so much more if there were others there, other perspectives, other people to help me share this passion for dance and to connect with the children. And And again, through incredible ways, Erica Moore and Jasmine Benton joined me last year in the first year of the project. And we went down there for 2 weeks. And we taught classes to all the children, but we focused the research and we focused the project on a small group of 10 children. They were 10 years old. There were 5 girls and 5 boys. And it was another amazing experience. I mean, right when I arrived, and I had been back to the orphanage one other time, but right when I arrived, there was this feeling that immediately washed over me. That was that familiar feeling of home and belonging. That is so unique to that place that I continue to feel drawn to and intrigued by. And so we started. Myself and Jasmine and Erica had met before, for weeks before, and investigated different ways of using movement to explore. I created frameworks or guidelines for these explorations around the idea of identity and home, kind of this question of what is home. And from that, as dancers, we ended up creating a piece of work, a dance. And so when we got there, we performed that dance for the entire orphanage. And then with the children, we started teaching little pieces in small groups of that dance to use in our classes. So I was really interested in this idea of a living curriculum, of being able to listen and respond to what the children were showing interest in, to what was important to them and valuable to them, and then to really explore those ideas through movement. So this idea that we can gain knowledge through dance, in the act of moving, in the act of dancing, that we can gain understanding and insight. In my very first meeting with the 10 children, I realized right away the importance of your name, and that people know your name, people know how to say your name the right way, and that you're addressed with your name. Along with that, I had handed out their permission slips to participate in this project. And I had explained to them that it was voluntary, and if they were interested, that they would sign their name. And so again, this idea of the name came up as they were asking about how I wanted them to sign the name. And at first I wasn't sure what they were asking me, but then quickly I realized they wanted to know if they could have artistic freedom in signing their name. And that I took that opportunity to go into this idea of identity, and that it's their signature, and so it's what they would like to create as a form of representing their name. So from there, we started to play with signing our name through movement, and just continued to build on that, and all these different ideas surrounding identity that we explored through dance. From that experience, from that research, some of the biggest takeaways that I had was that through dance and through creative endeavors, you have the opportunity to make choices. You have the opportunity to take risks and to make choices and decide and reflect and analyze those choices and learn from others and the choices that they make, and let that inform you about yourself and others. This was really exciting, and so from that I continued my thesis research and created my concert piece, full 25-minute piece, and I titled it Mi Firma, or my signature, and it started with a choice. So Mi Firma, it started with a choice. I knew going into this project that I wanted this to be something that happened every year. I wanted to be able to go back and be with the children every year and dance with them. I wanted to learn and recognize the ways that it would serve them. And I've had a wonderful experience with that. And as we finished our 2 weeks with them, all of the children, as well as the nuns, were enthusiastic about making sure that we would be coming back the next year. And we as well were very excited to return. I think another aspect of this is that being around the children is very uplifting. There is a brightness and resilience in many of them. There is a love and openness that is so kindly shared with others that I've experienced, and I learned so much from them. They are people that I really want to be around, and I'm really glad that they enjoy having me there as well. So this year I am really excited because there are 4 dance artists that are joining me. So it's growing. And these dance artists are exactly the people that are going to help to expand this vision and take this project in directions that I haven't thought of, but that will really bring a lot of creative opportunity and positive experiences. The connection with each of these dance artists has been unique, and that's another remarkable experience I've had with this project, is how people end up getting connected with it. But on the page we'll introduce each one of these artists, and I'm excited to have each of them and the ways that they will contribute. This year we are expanding the classes and that research to the entire orphanage, and we hope to culminate our time with them in in a performance that all of the children are involved in, that we share with members of the community. At this point, I see one of the main focus of this project is finding the opportunity to create connection with others through the medium of dance. And in that connection, gaining a stronger sense of a global community. And letting that connection drive you to contribute to the good of that community, to the growth of others and yourself. It's very exciting. So this is very little bit about the project, but hopefully it gives an idea of maybe the drive behind it, the passion behind it. So keep following us. Keep following us on the Orphanage Dance Project page. We have a GoFundMe. We appreciate all the support that we have received. And check that out. Thank you.